Hey, what's up? Unbiased Buckets here. Because of the recent Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant trades, both the Dallas Mavs and Phoenix Suns have become instant title contenders. And although everyone knows they're going to be good, exactly how good will they be? Starting off with the Dallas Mavs, I think that although the few games we've had with Kyrie and Luka playing together haven't been the greatest, the Mavs have shown flashes of having an almost unstoppable offense, and I think eventually they will consistently have that. I mean, think about it. They have two shot creators that can both pass the ball at an elite level, surrounded by pretty solid shooters around them. This is going to cause a lot of trouble for other teams defensively, as they have two almost unstoppable players on offense, which if one is off, the other's going to be on, which means that more than likely there's always going to have to be at least one double team. This meaning that there's always going to be at least one open guy on offense. And because of both Kyrie's and Luka's insane passing ability, they're going to be able to find that guy. This in turn means that the Dallas Mavs are always going to have a pretty solid shot on offense because of these open looks created. And although yes, there is the argument that Kyrie and Luka are both too ball dominant to work together, I think this can easily be disproven by the fact that Kyrie played with prime LeBron, which is as ball dominant, if not more ball dominant than Luka Doncic. If it isn't clear, I don't really think their offense is going to be their downfall in any way. I think the main way this team can come short is on defense. Defensively, this team is really lackluster. I mean, outside of a handful of solid defensive pieces, they really don't have any good defensive options. I mean, before the Kyrie trade, they were already one of the worst defenses in the league, and they got rid of two of their best defenders in that trade, so they're just bound to get worse, especially since the reason Kyrie is a superstar is not because of his defense. But in the end, I think the positive will outweigh the negative for them, and their really strong offense will carry them to a solid playoff run this year. I think they can pretty easily make it to the Western Conference Finals, and they can maybe even surprise me and make the finals. But overall, the Dallas Mavs are going to be very good for a couple years at least, especially if Kyrie Irving stays. Moving on to the Phoenix Suns, I think pretty much the consensus take on them is my opinion. I mean, you're taking a team that's made it to the finals before, and you're adding Kevin Durant. Although yes, you are taking away some pretty solid pieces that were decently fundamental to their success, I think Kevin Durant can greatly outweigh their impact. I mean, their offense is just going to be straight up scary. But I do think something that gets overlooked is their defense. I mean, this team is pretty solid defensively, outside of Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, who got traded, but both of those guys were arguably some of the best defenders on the whole team, and Mikal Bridges was a Defensive Player of the Year finalist last year. Although I really don't think the Phoenix Suns will be bad defensively, I definitely don't think they'll be nearly as good. But I think overall, KD mixed with the Phoenix Suns' already really good offense will combine together to make a team that I could honestly see making the finals this year, and maybe potentially winning it all. Although I don't see this greatness lasting nearly as long as the Dallas Mavs does, sheerly based off of age of the best players on both teams. I mean, Chris Paul is 37 and KD's 34. Meanwhile, Kyrie is 30 and Luka is 23. And I don't really see Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton keeping the Suns as relevant as they are now moving into the future. So overall, both teams will be really good offensively and will very likely be worse defensively. But overall, both teams will be really good, and both teams have a really good shot at winning the West. Alright, well that's it for this video. Let me know if you agree, disagree, or if I'm an idiot. See ya.